Welcome over the top podcast. It's your boy HD along with the over the top podcast crew. Hey guys, before we get started, again, we all want to start our show out by thanking all our listeners for taking time out to listen to our show and digest our information. Hey guys, if you know anybody else who definitely want to who may find out what we bring entertaining or beneficial, please bring them on, log on. Not only log on with WDJY99.1 FM on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. We're also on YouTube. We also on wherever you get your podcast, may it be Spotify, may it be iHeart, may it be Amazon Music. And you can definitely find the Over the Top Podcast crew. Also, join our Facebook page, man. Go in, join the Facebook page, stay on top of the stuff we're trying to do, and move on from there. So, but we do thank you for tuning in to us. So let's meet the pal. We almost back in full strength. We getting there. Let's start with the plan, man. What's going on,
G? Hey, man, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Incredible. RJ, what's going on with your way, sir?
Man, I'm just happy to be back home,
man. Ain't no place like home, man. Yeah. No place like home. Lady T, what's the deal, Toya?
It's my birthday. Hey. Hello, 50. Tomorrow, but we've been celebrating.
Tomorrow will be your birthday. Happy birthday.
All weekend.
We have been celebrating all weekend. Definitely. I thought our boy Q gonna be back with us, but he probably join us throughout the show. He may jump on a little late, but that's fine. The show must go on. So, Toy, what we got on deck?
All right. I want to say y'all did a great job without me last week. With the Ask Toya.
Oh, thank you.
Dear Toya, Netflix has put out a trailer for the reboot of The Good Times, produced by Steph Curry, Norman Lear, and Seth MacFarlane. I was wondering if the OTTP crew have seen the trailer and your thoughts. Sometimes it's our own people setting us back. As always, I enjoy listening every week. Signed, our favorite person, the hip hop guru.
What's up, hip hop guru? Thank you for writing there, my friend. Thank you. We keep you on deck with your good questions. Playmaker, let's start with you on this one.
Okay, I'll bite. So first, I'll say that for me, reboots are never been the same as the original. They always lack something, in my opinion, whether it's movies or TV shows. Sometimes you just need to admire the classics, the originals, AFIA. But I will also say, after looking at the trailer, I don't believe that it is for me. I believe it's maybe for a different genre, maybe a different population, demographic that doesn't relate well to what I like seeing in my form of television. I only got a little snippet of it through the trailer, but I did not add it to my future watch list, and I probably will not.
RJ. Okay.
No, man. Hey, man, listen. Honestly, no disrespect to anybody. The creative process was not identified in what was done, and reimagining something that was a landmark series in our community. And it was one of the first times where an accomplished actress in Esther Rhodes stood up to have a black male be placed in the cast. And James Evans was cast, or James Amos was cast as James Evans. The real problem I have is the remake doesn't have any of the even though it's satire, it didn't have any dignity. It's all the worst impulses directly correlatable with who we are as people, or those inferences that a lot of people like to make about us. And that to me is just problematic, man. So nah, I pass.
I thought when that was in the room and everybody, somebody brought this idea up and shared it with somebody. Did they even ask somebody who ever watched the show Good Times? Because the only thing that was related to the show Good Times was the title. And then the guy was James Evans, nephew, grandson. And they said Dynamite one time. There was only 3 references to Good Times. Everything else, I didn't see anything that had any type of resemblance to the show of Good Times. I just, the dear Hughley said the most place, the most feared place for any black man is the imagination of a white person, and I think that whoever did this to every ghetto hood stereotype that they can find, and it's clumped it into one glob and put it out there and pass it over as more of is it a comedy? At a comedy setting, and I think you missed the mark on it. Even when you look at the actors and the actresses, hey man, you gotta work. So I'm not gonna condemn nobody for going to work, but that's a hard role to play when you kind of feeding in those stereotypes. The executive producer, Steph Curry. Hey man, I don't know if you had to see it or signed off on it. But if you did, okay, I think you missed the mark on this one too. I didn't think everybody formed this from beginning to end. I will not be watching it. I won't be partaking. T, what's your thoughts?
Um, um, I'm with everybody else. This is every black stereotype rolled up into one and put on a show. The producers are now, I'm trying to figure out, did they put this out before? Because Norman Lear has since passed. And I just want to think that he's rolling over in his grave because he created some of our most iconic shows in putting Black people on TV, but putting them on as their best. Sanford and Son, Archie Bunker, Good Times, The Jeffersons, Maude, things where he created where there were empowered women, where they were intelligent. And even though in Good Times they were set in the ghetto, it was never a negative. It was always showing you what happens and how we overcome. And even at the end of Good Times, they got out of the ghetto. They got out of the hood. So how are we back in this place? And Steph Curry should be ashamed of himself. Seth MacFarlane, who I love, and I get it. Certain things are satire, but this is the worst type that has ever been created. And if it's for young people, it's not showing our young people anything positive. It's showing them stuff they already see. This is not what we want to see on TV. We are tired of seeing the gangs and the violence and the guns. Like, this is all we are. It is not all we are. We're exhausted. And I want it to stop. There is a whatchamacallit going out. I'm sorry, y'all. I got lupus fog brain like a crazy person. The thing you signed petition going around for people to sign so that Netflix does not air this show.
Quentin, did you get opportunity to see the clip for Good Times?
Well, first off, hello.
I'm sorry.
For people who haven't seen me in a while, I haven't been here in a month and a half.
Okay, so let me stop. Hey guys, Q's back. Thanks for coming off the hiatus. Welcome back. So, do you have anything you want to share with the fans? So, I give you a few minutes. She should be gone. She should be gone for a little spell.
Let us know why you've been gone, Q.
I was gone for a while because I was joining the greatest fraternity in the world, Kappa Alpha Psi. Anything I can say
Yes.
about that? No, we don't got nothing to say about it.
God, look at you.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations for
Congratulations,
joining
you.
Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
And while we do it, we also want to give a shout out to all the divine 9 members, which is the Kappa Alpha Psi, Alpha Phi Alpha, AKAs, Deltas, Iota, Sigma Gamma Rhos, Zeta,
Yes.
Omega Psi Phis, and Sigma. They
Sigmas.
got, huh?
I said and Sigmas.
And Sigmas. We give a shout out to all you guys, your organizations. I think you guys do a great job in the community. Keep up the good work. But we are welcome to have you back in the fold, Q. You're welcome to come on back. New person, new attitude.
Yeah,
So now,
back to bring some youthful energy to the show.
there you go. There you go. There you go.
Oh,
There you go, boy. You coming in real hot too, ain't you? You coming in real hot. I
Yeah,
I'm saying.
for those of you, I'm late because I had a late notice step show practice. So yes, I am very hot.
There you go. There you go. So now, let's get back to what we're doing. What's your thoughts on the clip of Good Times?
I have chosen not to watch it because I heard what it's about, and I do not want to put that negativity into my time of business. I've heard what it's about. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I listened to another podcast explain it. The biggest issue is the name that's pasted on it. Because if this was a different name, it was the backlash for it would still be outrageous because the trailer is outrageous. But I also want people to remember it's a trailer. We don't know how the actual show's going to be. But if the name wasn't Good Times, if it was what's a raunchy show from y'all time?
We didn't have raunchy shows.
But
I don't even have raunchy shows.
So we didn't have raunchy shows.
But I see what you're saying. I agree with you saying because you named it Good Times. If we talk Good Times, it's such a
Dolomite.
icon of TV
Dolomite.
shows.
Yes. Well, those are movies.
Dolomite is
No,
an
you know,
icon
it
of
was a
TV
rancid.
shows.
If it had a name of an older show that was known for having that type of humor, the outrage will still be there because why is this a thing in our year of 2024? But because it's Good Times was, by the way, I'll be the one to say it. For a young generation, we don't need a Good Times. We didn't need one in the first place. It was art because Good Times was good for its time. Nowadays, that gets
oh boy, you putting it together. You putting it together.
I haven't been here in a month and a half. I'm getting home. I'm getting everything off.
I see.
It was good for its time. Getting here now, and you don't need a show now.
Go ahead, Playmaker.
You know, I'm curious. Do you think there's a population out there that is interested in this product? I mean,
yeah. The same population that likes reality shows where black women fight each other,
or the Boondocks, or the.
First of all, no, you can't.
I think we're doing a disservice.
Away from this.
I think we're doing a disservice to the art form because, in all true honesty, the first cartoon that was really based off adult themes, but had a level of brilliance was Robin Harris's Baby Kids. That displayed a level of brilliance, making fun of circumstances, and it was done in a way that was consistent. You know, so nah.
Also,
that's
the
not what we.
The Boondocks was done in a way that was a level of highly intelligence, and showed you hood stuff, but promoted positive stuff. It wasn't just straight, we gonna be ratchet. Why is the baby a drug dealer?
I know.
You know what's
I didn't watch a lot of PJs. Was the PJs similar?
The PJs was. It was funny. It was fun.
funny, but it wasn't to the point of there was negative. There was the PJs. I would say would probably be a reboot of Good Times.
Hey,
Not
you know what
where
was ratchet? You know what was ratchet that we didn't really realize? God daggone Family Feud and Richard Dawson kissing all them women on their mouth. That
I'm telling
daggone
you.
that
He ain't
son of
got
a
shit
gun,
for
man. That son of a gun was out of his mind,
Okay.
man.
One more Q,
Motherfucker.
then Toy, you got to wrap it up. Go ahead, Q. One more quick point.
I will say this with the reanimation of Good Times with Velma that was last year. Hey,
oh
stop
yes,
remaking old
Well, Velma
stuff
was horrible.
and thinking Velma was horrendous. Stop remaking old shows and using stereotypes. Think it's funny. Stereotypes are only funny when they're actually funny.
Period.
that part.
That's the best way
Wrap
to
it
say
up, T. We got
it's only
one
funny when
time.
it's funny.
Okay, so I hope that we were able to answer your question, the hip hop guru, and thank you for always hitting us up with good questions. I appreciate it. We are going to be having a special Ask Toya for Mother's Day. So I will do a reel to promote our Mother's Day competition that you ladies can send in telling me why you are the best mom possible. And then the winner will get a free gift card for dinner for Mother's Day. So that'll be coming out soon. Thank you all for listening. And always, you can hit me up at AskToya, TOIA74 @gmail.com, or Ask Toya on Facebook.
Good stuff, guys. We're gonna jump in today. We got a full house, and we're gonna jump in it. So we're doing the Black Panther Party was founded in 1966 in Oakland, California. The party was originally purpose was to patrol African American neighborhoods to protect the residents from acts of police brutality. The founders, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, were young political activists in Oakland, California, were disappointed in the failures of the civil rights movement to improve the conditions of blacks outside the South. They saw brutality against civil rights protesters as a part of a long tradition of police violence and state oppression. The party was active during in the United States through 1982, with chapters in major cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, Philadelphia. There was many active persons that had an international chapter, even in the UK. So that's just a little bit about the Black Panther Party. As we look down a little further, they also had a 10-point agenda, where a platform that served the foundation of the Black Panther Party and how they wanted blacks to be treated. These 10 are: we wanted freedom, we want power to determine the destiny of our black community. We want full employment for our people. We want an end to the robbery and capitalism of our black community. We want decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. We want education for our people that expose the true nature of its descent in American society. We want education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present day society. We also want all black men to be exempt from military service. Interesting. They wanted an immediate end of police brutality and murder of black people. Want freedom from all black men held in the federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. We also wanted black people, when brought to trial, to be tried in court by a jury of their peers, a group of people from the black community, and define our Constitution of the United States. We want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. Wow, this was written back in the 1960s. This kind of similar stuff we're looking for now. Playmaker, I'm coming to you, Playmaker. When you look back through the history, what effects do you believe that the Black Panther Party had on our community?
So I think that all of the civil rights movements, whether it was MLK, Malcolm X, the Black Panther. I think all of them worked collectively to help move the needle. And even though one of the things that are, even though the armed protection piece is one of the things that is showcased the most about the Black Panther Party, the things that they were doing within the community as far as health screenings, as far as um, uh, providing meals and food, I think is overlooked. And these are things that the community desperately needed. So I think that when you review the history of what they did and during the time that they were doing it, it was much needed services to our community.
Good stuff. T, I'm coming to it just in comparison. Do you believe that the ideas of the Black Panther Party was more successful than the civil rights agenda?
I think they were basically the same. You have to think, by 1966, the civil rights movement was, on the move. It had momentum, was gaining momentum for a lot of African Americans. But what happened was young African Americans, young Black men and Black women were dealing with things so sort of like today, like you said, a lot differently than dealing with the civil rights. They saw an increase of the civil rights strategy not being enough because it wasn't protecting them. And that's why, the Black Panther Party was created on the basis of the foundation of we need those rights. But as far as they believed in more of Malcolm X's beliefs, don't want to be violent, but if we have to, if by any means necessary, we will be to protect our own and our homes and our persons. And that was the problem. So younger people, I think it pushed more, it influenced the civil rights movement a little more as far as in getting more young people really involved in the late 60s at that time, going into the 70s.
Good stuff. Q, what's your thoughts on the 10-point platform?
Man, I was reading a 10-point platform. I got the 6 and I said, wait a minute. And I thought I got the wrong email because this is stuff we're asking for now.
And isn't that amazing?
I got to, we want immediate end to police brutality and murder of Black people. And I stopped and thought. And when back up, and when did they create this list again?
Between by the early 70s, sir. Late 60s, early 70s.
So 50 years.
Over 50 years
1966.
ago. 50 years later.
66.
So 50 plus years later, and we still ain't got freedom to determine destiny of Black community. And the worst part about it is, not all of it, here, stay with me now. Not all of it is Caucasian fault at this point, because now Black people are pulling people back down too.
Okay, valid point.
So you can argue we've got as much better we've gotten worse.
Okay, valid point. All right, James, the 10-point platform was implemented. What condition do you believe our community will be in today's time?
There's a fundamental reality that I think we really kind of, I think Gary hits some aspects of it, but I think we have to really realize this one thing. Why there's a Chinatown, why there's a Little Italy, there are Irish pubs or areas where you go to in certain cities where Irish people gather. There are places where all different ethnicities gather and come together, Little Havana, all these things. You know what those things represent? Infrastructure. You know what the 10-point plan represented? Infrastructure. When you create infrastructure, you create an opportunity for people to have spaces to come in and function, conduct commerce, to feel safe, and to be amongst their people in a functional manner. And what we have done going back to Martin Luther King's statement, is we integrated ourselves into a burning building. Because the thought process is that when we had our own, when we created our own, we were more successful in relationship to the things that we did. And that loss of independence, in terms of, and me and Hank were talking about that today, our food supply has created the largest gap in America. And that's why we are dealing with some of the things that we're dealing with. So that Black Panthers, and even going back to the Nation of Islam and some of those other groups, were about self-sufficiency and doing for self. And we have effectively lost that essence. So when Q says, I'm gonna go back to my old statement, it's easy to kill an N-word. It's harder to kill a brother. So when I take you and I devalue you, it makes it easier. And that 10-point plan puts that word brother and sister in full effect. So infrastructure, love, and family as a core principle need to be restored in our communities.
Good stuff. Anybody want to add anything to that? We get okay, cool. One of the major programs that the Black Panther had was the free breakfast for schools, children, and programs, and the People's Feed free food program was a community service program ran by the Black Panther movement. That focused on providing free breakfast for children before schools. The program began early 1969 through early 1970s. The program fed 10,000 of hungry kids. It helped contribute to the existence of federal free breakfast programs. The programs was simply a party member and volunteer went to local grocery stores to solicit donations and to consult with the nutritionists and health for breakfast options for children, and prepared to serve the free food free of charge. School officials immediately report results, and the kids who had free bread before school. The school principal came down and told us how different the children were actually at them. This is Ruth Baker, a parishioner who helped with the program. Said later they weren't falling asleep in class. They weren't crying over stomach aches and cramps. The program was embraced by the party outpost nationwide. At its peak, the Black Panther party fed 10,000 children per day in at least 45 different programs. For the party, it was an opportunity to counter its increasingly negative image to the public consciousness, and an image, as far as Gary mentioned earlier, of carrying guns, to actually seeing Black men actually feed children. So the positive image of seeing Black men being successful, doing something positive in the community, was also a main focus of the Black Panther Party with this program. G, I'm coming with you with this one. During this time, how important was it to create a program such as this one?
I mean, I think it's very important. I mean, I think you listed, you know, how the kids were behaving after having some food in their stomach, and when you are not, when you don't know where your next meal is coming from, it makes it hard to kind of pay attention to teachers and to sit still in the classrooms. So it was like I said earlier, much needed, especially during that time where you had the job situation was not always great. So it was definitely something that helped our community.
Good stuff. T, I'm coming with you with this. What impact do you believe that this program of feeding children had on the Black community during this time?
This impact, it wasn't just on our community. This went nationwide after they shut it down because J. Edgar had a problem with it, because he couldn't wear his dresses out in the outside.
You don't want to feed that Black children.
The things that they did to shut this program down were horrible. Sitting in cops and stuff like this, like G said, even in you talking about the program, what it did, how it showed proof that our kids who ate breakfast every morning, worked better. They learned better. they achieved more because they started their day off with a balanced meal. This wasn't just a program put together and say, okay, let's feed these kids this food. They went to nutritionists. They used their churches in the community. They had cooks. They had planned. This was an implemented plan to distribute breakfast in the right way, not just giving kids cereal and stuff like that, but full nutritious meals the right way every morning for kids who never ate breakfast before, who didn't know. And I tell my girls this all the time, because now, because of this program, you get to eat breakfast in school every morning. Kids get free breakfast in public schools every morning. But I tell my girls this, that even today, and how this over 50, 60 years ago matches up to today, some of these kids, the only meals that they get are in school.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of kids go to school so that they can eat. But also when they're out of school, and over COVID, this started, they set up, and I don't know how they did it in other cities, but here in Charlotte, they set up different places you can go to pick up breakfast and lunch for your kids if you didn't have it during COVID. And so the fact that in 2024, there are still kids in America starving and not getting meals, but only time they get them is when they go to school, is a problem. But this system implemented that, although they took it away and they made it so that they would stop serving breakfast to these kids, is just like how public schools were introduced, because Black educators were educating during Reconstruction. We were educating our kids more than white kids. And that's when they introduced public schools. Things that we implement seem to roll over into our society better than what, our counterparts would do.
Facts. Kill, come with you. What's your opinion on what type of fate it had seeing Black men fishing children play? If you was a young male during that time, what type of impact do you, or any young person, what impact do you think those children felt by seeing Black men doing something positive and feeding the children in school? What's your thoughts?
I would imagine, at least back then, because nowadays I got black men, black women starting to play. I'm on an HBCU campus, but back then I would imagine the kids may feel safer just getting the food from someone that looks like them. I feel like the same way, like if you see a Black police officer now, you may feel more safer depending on where you're from. You see a Black teacher now, you feel more safer. I feel like back then, just being in the presence of somebody who looks like you in a place where you not comfortable or where there's a lot of people who don't look like you, at least as a child, you'll feel like just a little bit more comfort. And that little bit more comfort goes a long way.
Good stuff. Bro, you want to add what you can, but do you believe that this type of programming is still needed in today's society?
Very much so. I seen a video the other day where this gentleman put up a whole bunch of dots on the screen. And then he talked about the generality about which we operate. And then when he completed the dots, he made a network, which made a web. That web is what we used to be. We used to be supportive of each other. We used to be connected to each other. The more we've grown in terms of our ability to make money, the more of us have gone off the larger cities and have abandoned those aspects of things of family. That 10-point plan is word bond. If we use that plan and ideally identify with it, our community would be a lot better.
Good stuff. Speaking of what Toya was speaking of earlier, the FBI head J. Edgar Hoover, who loathed the Black Panther Party and declared war against it in 1969, he called the program potentially the greatest threat to the efforts by authorities to neutralize the Black Panther Party and destroy what it stands for, and gave carte blanche to law enforcement to destroy it. The FBI agents would go door to door in cities like in Richmond, Virginia, telling parents that the Black Panther members would teach their children racism. In San Francisco, writes historian Francisca Minster, I think it's her name, I'm pronouncing it correctly. Parents were told that the food was infected with venereal diseases. Sites in Oakland and Baltimore was raided by officers who harassed the Black Panther Party members in front of terrifying children, and participating children was photographed by Chicago police. Ultimately, these and other efforts to destroy the Black Panthers broke up the program. The result of thousands of American children becoming unaccustomed to the free breakfast to the government. Excuse me, go back. The result was thousands of children becoming unaccustomed to free breakfast. The government expanded its own school food program. So another thing that was taken away from the party. The FBI viewed the Black Panther Party as the enemy of the United States government and sought to dismantle the party to this end with counterintelligence program use agents to try to shut down, even by lethal force, the party. Playmaker, I'm coming with you. In your opinion, what threat, if any, did the Black Panther Party have on the government?
Um, so when you talk about threats, I mean, when you look at what they were trying to do, they were trying to protect, men and women from police brutality. They were trying to feed children. Um, so, and from one perspective, that is not a threat. But the way that they looked at it during that time frame is that feeding the kids was recruiting. So you take a hungry kid, you feed him, and now he feels like he may owe you something, and maybe want to join your cause. Maybe you may radicalize him. That's what they were thinking back then. You take a group of people who now have arms, guns, and not in a cause, and that can be threatening to certain groups, especially if they are not addressing the issues at hand. So I even though I don't think it was a justified belief, but when you have a group of people with guns, and you're not, and their mission is different than your mission, you will feel threatened.
Okay, valid points, valid points. Tony, come with you. Throughout history, when the Black community tries to come together to address the equality of the community, why do you believe the government always make every effort in an attempt to stop that progress? What's your view?
Fear. They fear our greatness. You see, when we were segregated, and like we always talk about how that dollar bill passed over 100 times before it went into their community, they feared that, and that's why they started burning our communities down and killing us, and we had the Great Migration. It's just history revisited over and over again. They understand what some of us don't understand about ourselves, because we're conditioned not to know that we are great, that we created this country, that we built it. And a lot of things, you can't go through your day without using something an African American had invented. To the clothes on your back, when they had us picking cotton, we created a way to do the cotton with the cotton gin, because it became too hard. So there's a fear in our greatness. There's a fear of us coming together. And that is why the neighborhoods have been infested with drugs, why you see a liquor store on every corner. While we don't have we don't have the ability to fly over down to South America and bring the cocaine into the country. The government has that ability. So there is a fear, and there's a constant fear about us uprising. If we can only just get it together and come together as a people, every problem that we have will be solved, because we can solve it. We have done it before. What other people, besides in the Bible, have come out of a slavery, wasn't taught to read, have come to a country where they did not know the language, but automatically knew it? Couldn't read, but learned to read. Taught them how to harvest, how to crop, and the indigenous people too. So there's a fear to keep us down. And that's what they have to do because they are the power. And we don't understand that to get the power, you got to overthrow it with knowledge and love of self.
Yes. Q, do you think groups like the Black Panther Party is still needed in our time today?
I want to say yes. I want to say yes.
Let's say yes.
We got However, we got BLM, and then we found out what BLM was doing with the money that the black people were giving to them. I am worried that if they do make a resurgence and we get Black Panther Party, there will be some corruption at some form or at some level in the party. Because as much as black people love black people, there are some black people that like money more.
Yeah. Playmaker, same question.
Which is unfortunate.
I'm sorry, let me cut you off, Q. Let me cut you out, Q. Go ahead.
No, yeah, but it's unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Same question, Playmaker. What's your thoughts?
Can you repeat it? I want to make sure I answered correctly.
Do you believe groups like the Black Panther Party is still needed in today's society?
So I agree with what Q said, but I still do think even with the potential of corruption, the potential of misuse of funds, that right now we do need a body to kind of unite us. I think when you have all of these smaller groups, individuals, they have some power, but when you have everyone working together with the same agenda, you have more power. And I think right now we have a lot of good groups out there doing a lot of good work, but if they all were kind of united under one umbrella for like a 10-step program or 10 calls program, I think we could be more effective.
Okay. RJ, do you think the community? Do you think we have the ability to organize and develop such an agenda to improve our condition?
We do. Here's the thing we have to really kind of like, and I want to touch on this, and this is the conversation I have a lot with one of my partners. Why do we always accept the narrative that we can't work together? That's a level of programming that's identified in a way that they present that to us. And that's BS, it's bogus. We can and we will when the opportunity and the right leader shows up. I have a debate a lot of times with one of my friends, and he talks about, man, the FBI ain't killed no Nipsey Hussle. And the video I showed him that day, I said, man, Lil Bro was a leader. I said he was a leader, a man amongst men, and a leader of men. And I said in that community, he represented something that was greater. And when you get those type of people that are like torches and they draw people to them, essentially what the government does is they snuff them out. So what we have to identify is, one, those that are our leaders, because one of my favorite songs, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, none but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear of atomic energy, but none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it, but we have to fulfill the book. We must understand that and stand in that. We must really realize, man, that they can't stop anything. It's our thought process that has to align with the divine. The divine is inside us. And man, I'm not letting them tell me those narratives about what we can't do no more. I don't buy that bull, right?
Positive, good stuff. Tori, I'm kind of freestyling a little bit. We got a little more time, so but I think you are we getting lulled to sleep by the shiny things and why, and if we are we missing the point of what we need to do to improve ourselves? Or is it just like what Gary said, everybody have their own points of view and going in different directions? What is it? What is it that's kind of keeping us from?
I call it reverse Willie Lynch. So the reverse of Willie Lynch is go ahead, give them everything they want. So that was the civil rights movement. Go ahead, give them everything they want. Let them go to school with us. Let them live in our neighborhoods. So what this is going to do, it's going to break up their family unit. It's going to break up them as a group, as a unit. Their kids are going to become complacent to having nice things and living in nice places and being very educated and having great jobs. And then they'll divide. They want all to come together for everything because some of them are so comfortable in their personal space that they won't think that, racism really exists. We'll have kids in a world that sees rainbows and unicorns all the time. And only certain things happen to certain Black people. It's not a systematic system, like when we talked about the Black Republican Party, and divide them. It's a divide and conquer. But also, you're also killing them legally. You're locking them up. You're putting their men in jail. You're flooding their neighborhoods with drugs and alcohol and weapons. So they're killing each other. But also we can kill them too and get away with it. We can go to court if I want to, but it's just, so are the shiny things, the system is created for it to look like it's the shiny things. But the breakdown of us literally was integration.
Okay. Hey, I wanted to say something too. Check this. And I'm going to put this in a real context so we can get what they know, what we really have, like, we miss when we talk about the Black Panther Party is that U.P. Newton and Bobby Seale were very educated young men.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely educated, well-versed. And do you know, and I think people don't understand the wickedness of how this government works. You know who was the facilitator of a lot of the laws that changed the gun laws in the state of California? Ronald Reagan. Because they took those guns and stood on the steps of the Capitol. You know who was the facilitator of killing the ability for people to go to college virtually for free? Ronald Reagan. And he created what they call trickle-down economics. The thought process in cutting off that education was the identified fact that these people stood on the principles and knew the law, and they could fight them back with their words, their language. And the ability to do that correlated with the ability for them not to keep their foot on their neck. So if you have a more educated population, they're harder to control.
That part.
So that's what we're not even really understanding, the correlation between why Reagan is this superhero in the Republican Party prior to Trump coming on the scene, because he was essentially an autocrat, an autocrat in a democracy-based system, and he facilitated that cutoff. People went to the University of California for $500. $500 a semester? UCal? Stanford? Some of those other schools? Come on, bro. So what we're not identifying is they wanted a less educated population so they can manipulate and control. The Black Panther Party stood on a platform, and part of that platform was education and empowerment. So if you have an empowered group of people, what do you have?
Good stuff. Hey, Kim, go do this. Go ahead, Chief.
That answers the question of that Hank asked you earlier. Do we need a Black Panthers Party today to get back what we lost? But what I see when you talk about it, and you talk about it education-wise, what you see is that young people today who are highly educated are opening their eyes to a lot of things that's going on. So when you see these videos of cops pulling Black people, minorities over, and we're putting the laws to the police officers, because half the police officers don't even know the laws. And we're putting the laws to the police office. We're taking that stand and standing our ground to protect ourselves. And that is what they are not like.
No. Q, I'm coming to you. What you need a quick answer that you can give your last thoughts also, because we kind of wind it down. Being on a college campus, do you feel that your generations are more woke for these conditions of our community, or they still caught up in the party and the dance?
Well, they're not partying tonight, so I would argue that but I wouldn't say they're woke either, because the definition of woke has been slandered to Hades and back.
Okay.
But also, this is a very small campus. A lot of these kids down here, they want to.
But
party.
But do you think your generation is more concerned with what's going on in the community? Or are they more concerned with what's going on around them?
I would say we're more aware, and
Okay.
that comes from being inside for COVID for 3 years. So you kind of had to see everything, especially since everyone likes being on social media. Now, are people doing anything about it? I mean, they're aware.
Good stuff. Awareness at the beginning. So while I got you on deck, what's your last thoughts for the night?
Today is Tuesday, April 2nd. Yesterday was Monday, April 1st. Yesterday, we got great basketball.
We did.
Not from the NBA. We got it from women's college basketball. Keep going. Paige Beckers, you see her right here. So that's the reason she's my screen. She's my background. 28 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Juju Watkins, 29 points, 10 rebounds. Angel Reese, 17 points, 20 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. On a bad ankle. I want people to remember she twisted her ankle in the first quarter. Caitlin Clark, 41 points, 7 rebounds, 12 assists. Watch women's basketball, because specifically the Iowa LSU game had 12.3 million people tuned in.
Yes,
and that's not counting the people. That's not counting people who watched it on the other sites. Watch women's basketball. And for people who want to say, man, we don't care about women's basketball, you are in the minority now.
I'm about to give a gender.
Playmaker,
watch women's basketball now.
Good stuff. Playmaker, last thoughts.
Good question. I guess my last thoughts today is that take time to smell the roses. Sometimes we kind of get caught up with all the busyness of life, and sometimes we overlook our own personal accomplishments or accomplishments of others. So take time, slow down, and if somebody's done something, congratulate them. If you've done something, take time and celebrate yourself. So slow down and smell the roses.
RJ, last thoughts.
Mathematics is the key to set my whole race free.
Good stuff. Toya, last thoughts.
I want to go off of what Q said, because it has bothered me so much today that at the press conference, Angel Reese, she cried and she said some things, and I guess she's been being threatened and stuff like that. And that's what I want to say to Black men. Learn how to support and protect your sisters. Every commentary that I have seen has pissed me off, that y'all are attacking this young woman because you think she's hood, you think she's strong, you think that because she gets paid NIL money, that she's supposed to just shut up. I'm sorry for my cuss word. I will cut it out. But it is pissing me off that we are not allowed as Black women to stand in ourselves and say, this is how we feel. We can't be emotional. We can't be angry. We can't cry. We can't do anything but be strong. Being strong gets tired. It is the most tiresome thing in the world. But to have others of our own people attack us and say, oh, we weak and we full of this and we full of that because we show some point of emotion because we hard on that court. She got to be hard on her court. Like Coyton said, you saw some great basketball last night out of women. I don't think any dude can name 5 dudes in the NCAA playing basketball, but you can name five chicks in the NCAA playing basketball for the girls' side because they're showing up and they're showing out. Give her some grace. Y'all are always attacking this sister, and it's starting to get tired. And y'all is showing y'all ugly side, and I don't like it. Support us, protect us, give us grace. That's all I have to say.
Okay, hey guys, piggyback well, I'm gonna go this right. I haven't said it in a while, but it still holds true. The secret behind every successful person that ever been successful lies in the fact that they are willing to do the things that failures do not want to do. Now I'm gonna leave it just like that. Hey guys, great show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the other side. And like always, may your next move be the game changer. Peace.